Hi, friends. I'm sure you've seen people during your childhood who used to bring monkeys to the streets and make them perform tricks for the crowds. They were called madaris, and they would play some kind of music like a dhol or a drum and get the monkeys to do their thing. These people were pretty entertaining, especially if you grew up in a small town or a village. You'd see a big crowd gather around them, but here's the real question. Can you really trust them? I mean, they are showing you a monkey trick, that's fine. But if tomorrow they try to sell you some, let's say, medicine, would you buy it? Well, definitely not, right? So, being entertaining and attracting a crowd is one thing, but building trust is a completely different game. Now, this same principle applies to YouTube and social media as well. There are many who can gather huge followings just by creating a spectacle, but that doesn't mean they're trustworthy. Their reach might be huge, and sometimes even brands get fooled by the numbers. They think, oh, millions of people follow this person, well, let's invest in them. Or even governments give them awards thinking they've got such a large reach, there must be something to them. But just because someone can create a show doesn't mean they can build trust. Are these people serving vulgarity in the name of humor? Well, that's the question we need to ask. So let's talk about the recent controversy involving Samir Raina and Ranveer Allahbadia, which really highlights this. So if you've seen this news, you might already know what happened, but let's break it down. So Ranveer was one of the judges on the show called India's Got Latent and made a highly vulgar, inappropriate remark about a contestant's parents, which has sparked huge outrage. So that's the controversy regarding his absurd and vulgar statement, which has obviously not gone down too well with the audience. So let's speak about Samir Raina, the comedian. So first up, Samir Raina. He's a comedian from Jammu and Kashmir, belonging to a Kashmiri Pandit family. He started making comedy videos on YouTube at the age of 16. He took up print engineering initially, but later dropped that to pursue full-time stand-up comedy. He even performed with well-known comedians like Anirban Dasgupta and Abhishek Upamanyu. His big break came during the COVID-19 lockdown when he started streaming chess online. He collaborated with chess legends like Vishwanathan Anand, Magnus Carlsen, and others, and even won a $10,000 prize in 2021. More recently, he started a show called India's Got Latent, where young, unfiltered comedians get a platform to show their skills. And it's been quite popular, especially among the younger audiences. But then came the controversy in a recent episode of this show involving Ranveer Allahbadia, a huge YouTuber and influencer. So let's talk about Ranveer Allahbadia, the influencer. So Ranveer was one of the judges on this show, and he made a highly vulgar and inappropriate remark about a contestant's parents, which has sparked huge outrage. His comment was so controversial that it led to police complaints against him, Samir Raina, and another organizer, Apurva Mukherjee. The complaints were filed with the Mumbai Police Commissioner and the Maharashtra Women's Commission, accusing them of making derogatory remarks about women for the sake of popularity and financial gains. There was even a call to shut down the show immediately. Now let's talk about the impact of Ranveer Allahbadia's brand after this episode of India's Got Latent. Now Ranveer Allahbadia is a huge name and he works with many brands like Amazon Prime, Mountain Dew, Intel, Spotify and others. But after this controversy came to light, can these brands continue to support him? His reach is massive, but can these brands really trust him? Well, that's the real question now. Ranveer's comment was so bad that many people started unfollowing him on Instagram, around 8,000 according to an influencer marketing platform called Chorus. On YouTube, his subscriber count dropped a little and hashtags like boycott Ranveer Allahbadia started trending. Celebrities like singer B Prak even cancelled their podcast and interviews with him, calling him out for going against the Indian culture. Many critics, including renowned journalist Nilesh Mishra, also criticized him, and now brands are rethinking their collaborations with him. Now let's talk about the importance of trust. So experts in marketing believe that brands now have to consider not just the reach, but also the trust factor before associating with someone. The problem with sensationalism is that while it may grab attention, it doesn't necessarily build trust. And when you cross the line, there are, of course, consequences. This incident shows us that while influencers have such a massive reach, they also have a responsibility. It's not just about engaging people with shocking or sensational content always. You need to be authentic and accountable. And if you don't, it can seriously damage the credibility you've built over the years. In the digital age, remember, your mic is always on and the internet never forgets. Now coming to legal trouble and public reaction. So Ranveer has although apologized after the huge public anger and protests against him, admitting that his comments were inappropriate and not funny. But the damage, especially in terms of brand partnerships, may be long lasting. This should be a lesson for all content creators that just chasing engagement and crossing boundaries of free speech can have serious consequences. We have seen Ranveer talk about aliens, ghosts, or other irrelevant topics on his social media podcast just to get views. But I think that's just a waste of a huge platform like YouTube. This incident serves as a warning. Public sentiment can change in an instant, and what's viral today can be cancelled tomorrow as well. Well, you can build a great name over the years, but one careless statement can ruin it all. In the US, once you are cancelled, it takes years to rebuild your reputation. In India, people might forget eventually, but the damage can still stick around. Now, even the government has been asked to take action. The Information and Broadcasting Minister, Ashwani Vaishnav, who once gave Ranveer an award, is also under pressure to address this. Brands and government should think carefully about whom they promote, and that should definitely not be based solely on numbers alone. Just because someone has millions of followers doesn't mean they should be rewarded or recognized if they are not trustworthy. So, coming to the conclusion, the key takeaway I'd like you to take home here is that relevance on social media isn't just about being the loudest person in the room. You need to be wise, authentic, and also responsible. Building trust is just as important as having reach, or even more so. Otherwise, you're just like that Madari. People will gather around to watch, but no one will trust you enough to buy anything you're selling or to believe anything which you'd like to say. Remember that brands invest in trust, not just reach. So what goes viral today can lead to cancelled contracts tomorrow. Every content creator should remember that. Hope you understood the issue and I've tried to explain it in a simple and structured way. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.